So I'm pleased to be joined with Matt LeFait. You are a singer-songwriter from the East Coast, from New Brunswick, and you have an exciting announcement because you have a song coming out today, and it's called Out of the Flames.
It is.
So, we just want to chat about that and also just get to know you a little bit so that the listeners can just get to know, like, who is this guy that we hear on the radio? And what's his story? How to get into music? So I guess
Abs-
going off of that, was music always something that you wanted to do, or did it just like maybe you were singing at church, or like how did that happen for you?
so yeah, music's always been a big part of my life. When I was a kid, I grew up. Well, I have two sisters, and we would we would randomly sing at different churches around the area. For some reason, they were like, "The LeFay children are here. Would you come sing a special for us?" And we'd be like, "Yes, for sure." So I kind of grew up, even when I was like 5 years old, doing that. Did it sound good? I don't know. Maybe, probably not. But anyway, I started writing songs really young too. I was like 6, and I wrote my first song. And again, it wasn't good, but I always had the itch for it. And the older I got, the more passionate. That's what I want to do. It was just like a tunnel vision. Is I don't know, a God given passion, I will say. But yeah, it's always been a big part of my life.
That's really cool. And do you ever like look back, like do you have the old stuff that you wrote as a kid, or is it just like, oh, I don't want to remember that because we've gotten so much better now over the years?
Yeah, I do try to forget most of it. If I dig hard and look hard enough, I will find some of it. Every once in a while, I'm like, yeah, there we go. I had a good concept, I suppose. But
But it
yeah,
could be better now.
absolutely.
Well, that's really cool just to hear about, like, this is your passion just as a young kid, and now it's like you're using that and you've obviously developed your skills and honed your craft and everything, and now just like even looking behind you, as you said, you're in your studio. So what has that been like, kind of coming that like full circle moment of you're literally living your childhood dream.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's like a pinch me moment, and at most of the time it's still like challenging. Uh, if there's creatives listening or watching, they know that once you achieve a certain goal, your vision's on to the next goal. So, which can be healthy for the future, but also for right here and now, you need to watch that as well. But to be able to do it and have a studio and create and have songs on the radio, like you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for playing me. Uh, it's a huge honor and a blessing for sure.
That's that's really cool. So, like we said, you have the song coming out today. It's called Out of the Flames. So, as you were writing that and making this song, creating it, because I mean, just like as someone who knows really nothing about that process, like what does that look like for you? Because everyone has such a different, like, do you just get this thought in your head, or is it like how does that look for you?
Uh, Most of the time when I'm writing, I write down ideas on my iPhone notes, and it could be a song title or just a random word. And sometimes just a random word in my notes will turn into a song within 5 minutes. And this song in particular, I remember I was in a band called Reconcile for years, and we did some touring and had some albums out and stuff. And we had just gone on hiatus, and this was 5 years ago, actually 5 or 6 years ago. And I was just kind of feeling like, hey, maybe the music side of my life is over, and what's next? And I remember sitting down, and I picked up my pen, and I didn't even have notes on this one in my iPhone. Honestly, I didn't. And I just started writing what was in my heart. And sometimes that is the best material, is honesty, right? Obviously. And it was a rough draft of the song. And honestly, I didn't even relook at this song until earlier this year, when I was like, for some reason, the melodies that I had created stuck in my head for years. And I kept thinking to myself, I do want to do something with that eventually. And this was the year. So I sat down and I kind of reworked it, rewrote it to from where I am now. Because, everybody grows. You grow so much, even in 5 years. And I'm excited actually to release it to the world as it is right now.
And what would you say is like the big takeaway that you're hoping that listeners are going to get from it?
Big takeaway for this song would be, it's called Out of the Flames. Basically, the disappointments in life. the tragedies, the mishaps, the misadventures we'll go with, the problems in life. When you look back, you'll see that in the course of the song, it says the image in the flame is the Son of God. It says at the last of the course. And that's just saying that Jesus is that fourth man in the fire with you, referring back to the book of Daniel, where Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were thrown into the fiery furnace for not bowing down to the idols, right? And that's kind of the concept behind the song. And it's just encouraging listeners to be okay with being in the valleys and in the fire, because it's going to strengthen you. And when you get through to the other side, you'll look back and see that you weren't alone. And that's really the consensus of the whole song, really. Yeah.
I love that you kind of talk about that because, it's so easy to have like these fun, upbeat songs where everything is going great and you're just like you just want to jam out to them, but then there's also those
Absolutely.
hard moments, right? Because like even in scripture it says that life isn't going to be easy and that there's going to be these trials and tribulations. So it's relatable, and I mean, even just hearing you say like that you're writing from a place of honesty and what's in your heart and just like how that can really translate, because obviously everybody's going through something different, but just that common ground, like, that we can
Hmm.
all understand and we can all relate to and just all be encouraged with probably such a simple reminder that we've heard a million times before.
Yes. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's humanity at its finest. Like we're not perfect. We serve a God that's perfect, and he can use who said it? It was Paul in the New Testament said the foolishness of preaching, and I like to see my songwriting kind of as preaching through music. Is I try to write from a deeper place, not just yeah, it's actually rabbit trail. I'm really bad for rabbit trails. It's hard to write simple sounding songs, so sometimes I write really deep songs, and people are like, "That's really amazing." It's like, it's just me being me. I can't really write a simple song, but anyway, no, it's just honesty at its finest for sure, and relatability.
So cool. And also on this song specifically, you're not doing it alone. You
No.
have someone that you're working with. So who is that and like why are you so excited of just this collaboration?
So his name is 1AT. Well, that's not his name; it's a stage name. Um, he's a Christian rapper from Moncton, New Brunswick, which is an hour and a half away from here. So we've collaborated a few times before on a song called "Victory" and "At the Altar." And he's been in my life for the last 10 years. We met doing shows together when I was in Reconcile, and we've talked about collaborating a lot. I've done 2 songs with him on his projects, and he's never been on mine. So this it's been about 10 years since we've known each other, and I'm like, dude, let's do a song together. And he's like, yeah, for sure. So it's an honor to have him. He's a super talented writer, and just a performer and musician, and a great friend and a great man of God too. So I'm just excited that he's on this project with me. Honored.
Yeah. I'm sure it's going to be just incredible just to see like how you guys kind of mesh, you share that message together, right? And
Yeah,
I mean that's
sure.
obviously what you're trying to do.
Another fun fact about that is the songs that we've written in the past together. He'll send me just a rough track and say, "Here, write to this." And I did the same thing to him this time, just to get him back. So he actually didn't know what the lyrics were about, and I think that's fun to play off each other and say, "Hey, what do you come up with?" And what do you come up with? And it meshed well. It was the first run that we did for this song, and there was no corrections at all. It was perfect. I was like, "Okay, that's a God thing, I think."
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, we're excited to get to hear more from you and hear your music and everything. But if somebody wants to, follow along with updates and, stay up to date with what you're doing, music and any other projects that you have coming out, where's the best place for them to find that?
I'm all over the interwebs. Uh, Instagram, my website, YouTube, Spotify, if you want to listen to music there, Apple Music. I'm a Spotify guy, I'm sorry. TikTok, yeah, all the places. That's where I am.
There you go. Easy to find.
Yeah, very easy to find. If you can
All
spell the
right.
last correctly, yeah.
All right, Matt. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, we're excited to see what the Lord does with your music and just in the future.
Hey man, sounds good. Thank you so much for having me.